All right, everybody, welcome. So this is our calming, our resetting yoga practice today. We're starting on our feet so we can get our joints warmed up a bit, a little lubricated, and then we'll come right into the practice for the day. So just to begin with, come into an awareness of your feet, right? We want to be aware of that which is our foundation. So if you need to do a little pedal through your feet, do a little pedal through your feet. And we make a little adjustment here. So take that pedal through. Make sure you're aware of how you articulate through your feet. Yeah? You want to make sure that you're lengthening through the toes, and you want to allow those toe pads to soften down. And then with that sense, come into awareness of where the weight is along the soles of the feet. So even from side to side on ball of foot, even throughout the heel, even from front to back. And we're going to allow this belly core to gently knit back so that we have some support there. Never so tight that we can't take a full breath. Yeah. Let's let the arms hang with gravity. And let's come into an initial softness through the neck. Initial softness, just random movement. Where does it feel safe for your head to explore range of motion? And of course, that's range of motion for the neck. And when you have a sense of that softness, we can let the head come to a still point. And again, just feeling gravity pull down on the arms. And let's come into a little bit of what we call bellows breath. And that's where we billow the belly. You can let arms hang, or you can put hands on that abdominal wall and feel that belly gently expand with your in-breath. And gently pull back into the body with the out-breath. And do that again. Find your own pacing. Find your own pacing in this. Maybe with each breathing cycle, you feel that calmness, that softness translate down through the body. Just take a couple more right there, right there. Feeling the muscles of the face soften. If you have your hands on your belly, let that go. Once again, feeling gravity pull down on the fingertips. And let's come right into what we call in Qigong, holding the pearl. So let's inhale, gentle opening. Exhale, palms come toward one another. Now we're not involving the legs yet, but you want to make sure that your knees are not locked back. So a gentle wafting open. Arms can gradually get bigger if that feels good to you. Coming into a sense of the shoulder girdle. And coming back into that sense of gravity, gently tugging down on the fingertips. And if it's comfortable for you to gradually bring those arms to shoulder high, let that happen. And if not, stay where you are. We're going to take two more just like that. Now the next time those arms come up with your inhale, we're going to keep them where they are. And with that exhale, let's gently sweep them forward. You might be low, you might be halfway up. And when you sweep forward, do take a bit of a knee bend and give a little rounding of the upper back. And then inhale, sweep them back wherever it's good for you. You might be on the lower end still, right? Inhale, gentle sweep forward. Exhale, sorry. Inhale, open. And so where is it comfortable for your body to hold your arms? Coming to that state of observer, right? That state of awareness. What are you observing about your body? And we're going to take 2 more. And after your next exhale, we're going to let those arms gently float right back down. And then we're going to take an inhale, give just a little opening and a rotation, palms forward, and look to your right. Exhale, come center and give a rotation of the palms back, maybe even backs of hands in. And then we take it to the other direction. Inhale, open, and exhale. So maybe if it's comfortable for your shoulders, backs of the hands rotate in a little bit. Inhale, open. So just a gentle turning of the head side to side. Exhale, center. In Qigong, we call this the wise owl. Gazes back, and come back to the center. Inhale, open. Exhale, center. Now, just 1 more of those each side. Now, the next time we take an inhale, we're going to sweep both arms up to the right side and look between the hands. And then exhale, sweep down. And if you can bend your knees on this one, do. And then inhale, lengthen as you sweep to the other side. Give a look. And exhale. So we've got a little engagement, little deeper engagement of our core happening now, helping to protect the back as we turn to the side and reach. And so options with your reach, maybe you're more of it at a front diagonal. For those of you that can go a little deeper, maybe you're going directly to the side. And for those that can go 1 notch deeper for that back, maybe you reach a little behind you. That would be a deeper engagement of your extensor muscles in your back. And make sure you're ready for that. Now we're going to take 1 more set. So 1 more each side. Now exhale, come down in the center. Inhale, open both arms to the sides, and we're coming into an easy eagle arm position. Take that right hand, the outside of that left elbow, soften into your knees a little bit. Now let's inhale, lengthen. You can give those elbows a lift, but watch that you're not lifting the shoulders. Exhale, just come down in the center for the first couple. Inhale, give a rise that feels appropriate. Watch those shoulders. Exhale, come on down. Now you can continue with that. Go ahead, inhale, or as you exhale and come down, take a gentle turn to the right, opening the back of that left shoulder. Then we come back to the center, inhale, exhale, come on down. So eagle, Garudasana. I suppose it's a half eagle. We're not involving the legs this morning. And take that gentle turn. Now the next time you come center, we're going to open those arms. Inhale. We'll translate that to the other side. Exhale, left back of hand to that outer right elbow. Keep a few in the center. Watch your shoulders. Exhale down. Gentle lift. And a gentle release. If you're ready to start taking a turn the next time we come down, we're going to pull that across to the left, opening the back of that right shoulder, that scapular area. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. We'll take a couple more like that. All right, everybody. Next time we come back to the center, we're going to release. Take an inhale. Bring those arms all the way up if you can. If you can't, take them where you can. Right hand takes left wrist. Give a pull. Root that left foot as you take your side bend. Okay to have those arms out in the front. Inhale, change. So you can take a side bend and have those arms in the front and give a pull across the body. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, those feet are rooted. Inhale, center, change. And exhale. Now inhale, center, give a reach. Bring those arms to a high V. Exhale, come on down. Give a gentle swing back. You can stay upright, bend your knees, or you can take a little tip into our Utkatasana, chair pose. Inhale, push the hips forward, so we're coming deeper into the legs now. Exhale, come on down. Maybe you're going to stay upright and just give a swing back. Just a couple more. Inhale. Exhale, not in a hurry to achieve any of it. Exhale, come on down. Now inhale, come up, and we're just going to let those arms float open. Feel gravity gently pull down. We're going to bring those feet underneath the hips, and we're going to work with some articulation through our feet. Now, we're going to bring this into a little bit more warming through hips, a few clamshells, and then we're going to come into an inverted posture today after our clamshells. For clamshells, if you need your chair back, have your chair back there, right? Just in case you need to reach out to it, because it will be a little bit of a balance for us. So first, let's articulate through feet. Just let arms hang. Push that right heel off the floor, come to the ball of the foot, and then put it down. If you want to bend your knees in the middle of that, you can, if that works for you. And then push that left heel up, come to the ball, come on down. If you want to add arms, you can add arms halfway up with the in-breath. Maybe you come to toes and then articulate to the ball and to the heel as you come down. So maybe it's ball, toes on the left, and then ball, heel. Give some articulation through those 26 bones in that foot. And we're just going to do one more on each side. And that one's going to give you an option to come through ball, toes, if you want to give a little lift. Give a little lift, and then we just reverse that back down. Other side, stand firmly into that other leg, and come back down, everybody. All right, now we're going to stand, shift on over to this left side. Now you may want to put hands on hips. You may be ready to hold arms open. If you're going to hold them open, I suggest you turn your palms slightly up. Softens the shoulders. And then let's tuck this right foot inside. So low tree, low vrikshasana. You can have those right toes on the floor. Now bring the knee forward, and if your arms are open, you can add the arms. And then let's open everything toward the back. Now when we come forward, take an inhale. And exhale, give that gentle squeeze. Keep that pelvis stable, right? Pelvis isn't turning with that knee. Inhale forward. And exhale. Think lifting through the head top. We're just going to do one more on this side. Come forward. Now open. We'll take a moment of balance. You can take your arms where you want to. If you want to bring that foot up on the leg a little bit, bring it up. Where does it work? For your arms. Lengthening through head top. Soft face. Finding your drishti, your focal point, right? Not with owl eyes. All right, everybody. Let's come back to parallel. Put that foot down. We'll take a gentle shift through center. Find your stability on that leg. And then we're going to come on into that low vrikshasana. Okay to have toes on floor. Maybe hands are on hips. Yeah? Now we're going to take an inhale. Bring the knee to the front. And exhale, open. And again, maybe those hands are on the hips, right? Inhale, knee forward. Exhale, feel the gluteal complex. Give its engagement to open that knee. Inhale, forward. Exhale, come on open. Inhale, forward. Exhale, open. Let's just take one more like that. We'll come into that little mini tree hold, mini vrikshasana. Not efforting too much today, right? So if you need to keep those toes down, keep them down there. If you can bring them up and not come into a major effort to do it, then go ahead. Where is it best for your arms? Where can you stay soft? Where can you keep the face soft? Yeah. All right, everybody. So go ahead, come on down out of that. Now, when we do a movement like that, when we engage this gluteal complex, these muscles rotate toward the center of our body in the back, right? So the tissues become, for lack of a better term, they really become engaged and tighter back in that area, right? And that can be a very stabilizing force for us. We want to open them. So as much of an internal rotation is what's comfortable for you, go ahead and take it. Now, I'm very internally rotated in my hips, so don't try and match how far I come in unless you're very internally rotated as well. So you can bring toes in, knees in, and what that does is it opens the tissues that we just engaged. In fact, take your hands back here, middle back, glutes, and smooth forward. When I say middle back, I mean the middle of your lumbar area. So right in the center, and smooth forward. And do that again. Smooth that forward. And then bring those arms forward and find some gentle rounding of the back. Gentle rounding. Maybe there's a little softness through the rib cage. Yeah. Let's open those tissues. If it feels good for you, you can take a rotation to one side and a rotation to the other side. Again, finding that softness. And then we're going to come back to the center. Go ahead and soften the arms down. You can bring those feet back to a position that feels natural for your hips. So when I say feet, I mean bring your hips back, and your knees and your feet are going to follow that, right? So whatever that is for you. And we're going to come into one more standing posture, and then we're going to go on down. And this is a front body opener, back body opener. We've done these in various classes before. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. Where is that comfortable for you? And then exhale, come down. And on this first one, let's all put our hands on upper hips. A gentle squeeze back with those arms. Inhale, give a bit of a chest lift. And exhale, give a knee soften and trace down the back of your body. And maybe this first set, we just trace down, the hamstrings toward the knee. And then we inhale forward, trace up the front of the body, give a reach. And with our exhale, those hands come back to the upper hips. Those of you that are ready for a clasp, you can take your clasp if you're ready for that. Inhale, give a lift, and exhale, come down. And you can do that same little mini trace down. Some of you might be ready to go further down. Make sure the knees are bent, right? We're going to inhale, trace up, give a lengthening of that front body, and exhale, come down. Take the hands either to the hips or find your clasp. We're going to do two more. Inhale, lift that chest. Exhale, come on down. Trace where it's appropriate for you. That touching your body really is stabilizing. And inhale, come on up the front body. We're going to take one more. With the exhale, where is it appropriate to put your hands? Maybe it's still on hips. Inhale, give a bit of a lift. And exhale, come on down. We're going to inhale, come up the front body, give your lift. And exhale, feel gravity gently pull down. And we're going to come back into that awareness of the neck. So explore gentle movement right here. All right, everybody. We're going to come on down to the floor. Make sure you've got your props available that we use for class. So again, you want to have cushions, have a yoga strap, any blankets that you want to have, towel. If you need to go grab these things, go grab them now while we're coming down to the floor. We're going to start sitting in a cross-legged position. So those of you that are tight in your hips, have a cushion for either side, right? Have a cushion for either side of those knees. And I'll demonstrate that here. I've got pretty big cushions here. And you might want to have a tushy cushy to have something underneath those hips, even for those of us that are open, right? This is our nurturing class. Let me bring my screen down just a tad here. So we're going to start with a breathing technique called Nadi Shodhana. Some of you know what this is, and we're going to make it a little easier. Nadi Shodhana can be a little confusing on how to put your hands. So I'm going to give us an easy way to do it. So just find an easy cross-leg position with right leg in the front. So again, for those of you that need support, get yourself set up. You've got something supportive there. For those of you that don't need it, if you want to let those knees flop open where they will, come there. So we're going to take this right hand, and we're simply going to fold our middle, ring, and little finger in. So we're going to be working with our pointer finger and thumb. So Nadi Shodhana breath is one nostril breathing or single nostril breathing. Very calming, very calming. So we're going to take our thumb and we're going to plug our right nostril. And we're going to empty our lungs and take an inhale through the left. And then plug the left nostril. Take an exhale with the right. Take an inhale with the right. Plug that nostril and take an exhale with the left. Take an inhale with the left. Plug and take an exhale with the right. So I'm going to leave you to this. So it's an exhale and an inhale, one nostril, plug, and reverse it. Let it take on a pacing that's appropriate for you, but try and keep it on the slowish end. You can have eyes open with your gaze lowered, or you can close your eyes. Now do one more set each nostril. And when you finish, go ahead and close. You might want to wiggle your nose around. And then let's change which leg we have crossed in the front. And again, maybe you have your cushions, maybe not. Let me tell you what we're going to do, and that'll determine whether you want your cushions or not. We're going to come into a little bit of torso circling, and we're going to start toward the leg that's in the front. So if left leg is in the front, that's where we're going to first. So let's take a gentle inhale. Exhale, pull the belly back, give a little rounding to the back, and bring the rib cage to the left. Lengthen as you come forward. Take your inhale, and as you come around to the right and the back, take your exhale. Pull that belly back. That's where you want to take an exhale. And then inhale, we lengthen forward. Exhale around through the back. Couple more like that. Notice what you notice about the movement. If you need to change your legs, you can lengthen them out in the front. Yeah. Now, when we get to the back on this next one, stay there, empty your lungs. We're going to inhale, sit tall. Now, whether you're still in crossed or if you've extended your legs, we're going to take a little rotation. Exhale, rotate to this front leg. Stay there. Soft shoulders. Now we're going to take a rotation to the other direction. We're not going to hold it. That's sort of like a resetting. So rotate to that other direction. Now this time, rotate back to that first side and take a tip that works for you over that leg. Yeah, you can put your hand on the floor to support your back. If you want to have a cushion there to support your belly, have a cushion there, and you can take this as low as what's appropriate for you. If you need a cushion for your head, maybe that other arm comes around and hand holds forearm. You can put your forehead down. we want to make sure that the hip we're stretching away from is rooted. So I'm facing left, right hip is rooted. Remember, I'm mirroring you, yeah? Soften your jaw. And how about that lengthened breath that we set up in our Nadi Shodhana? Feel the breath expand the rib cage. We'll take one more breath right here. And then on your next inhale, lengthen that body. And then give it a little walk to the center. You might still be in a bit of a tip. A little walk to the center. We're not going to hold it. Give a little length forward, maybe a little drop with an exhale. I want to make sure you're not stressing out that right hip. So we're not going to hold it further on this side. We're going to go ahead and come right back up, everybody. And again, you might have your legs extended, which is fine. And let's go ahead, bring those knees up. And because we had that external rotation, just like we did when we stood for clamshells, we're going to come into a little bit of an internal rotation before we do the second side. Put your hands behind you, tip back a little bit, and maybe open your feet a bit and do a little internal rotation, side to side with those legs. Even those of you that had your legs extended. All right, everybody. We're going to do all of that on the other side, and it's fine to keep those legs extended in the front. You might be even in a little bit of a wide angle. If that cross leg position is just not comfortable. Otherwise, you're coming into it with that right leg in the front now. Maybe you've got those cushions for your knees, and we're going to come back into our torso circling. So we inhale, sit tall. With the exhale, pull your belly back, sit back. This time we're coming to the right. So come to that right side. Inhale, forward. Exhale around through the back. And try not to let your hips rock up off of the floor, right? We want to keep them rooted. So one nice thing about having hands on legs here, if you're in the cross leg position, when your body comes away from one side, you can give a little push into that leg and keep that side of the body rooted down. One more in that position. When we get to the back, we're going to stay there, empty your lungs. Let's inhale, sit up tall through center, and rotate toward that right side. Exhale. So even if those legs are extended, just root your hands, anchor your hands outside that leg. Soft shoulders, soft jaw. Now let's do a little counter rotation. And we're going to rotate back again and take our extension. So maybe it's over the knee, maybe it's over the leg, maybe you've got a cushion, and you're going to extend over. Reach with that arm. Start with your body maybe a little upright, even those of you that can lay out. Crease in that hip. So even if your legs are out there, same thing, right? You're going to feel a back of the leg stretch if your legs are extended. Otherwise, you're going to feel more in your hips, right? And then when you're ready, maybe you soften down, opposite hand maybe to that extended arm so that you can rest your forehead down. Check in with your jaw. Check in that you didn't let that hip you're stretching away from peek up off of the floor. Root it down there. Take one more breath right here. And then let's lengthen the body. Let's walk ourselves up to center. Move your cushion if you have it. And then take a slight tip to the front. Lengthen through that head top. And pull that belly back. Come on up, everybody. Let's take that internal rotation with our hips again. So take those feet a little wider than hips, tip back, support yourself with your hands. Find an internal rotation, side to side that works for you. And we're going to come to hands and knees. So if you need a little extra cushion for your knees, have them set up. If you need to roll something up for the palms of your hands to have a sense of, firm resting on something, have that set up too. And before we actually come into hands and knees, we're not going to be on hands and knees long. Maybe come on up for a sec. Find some circling through your wrists. Find some wiggling through your fingers. And you can be on balls of feet in the back. Your feet can be pointed and you can be on tops of feet. What feels best for you, yeah? If you can tolerate tops of feet, that's nice to practice when you can, because our ankles are in a dorsiflexed position a lot. And when we put the balls of the feet down, that's a dorsiflexion. So it's nice to come into that opposite flexion, which is plantar flexion, pointed. Now come on down. Set those hands up under shoulders. Set those knees up under hips. Pull that belly back, not too tightly. Maybe find a couple of random movements through that rib cage. We're just going to come through a few cow-cats. So let's come back to center. Keep that chest from dropping between and jamming down right into the shoulders. Let's inhale, lift. And exhale, pull your belly back. Find a gentle rounding. Top of the head's going to come toward the mat. Inhale, find your gentle lifting. Exhale, belly pulls back. Let that top of head drop. Open the back of your neck. One more time, everybody. Inhale, lift. Now we're going to come into this cat stretch. Find that rounded back. We're going to stay here for a sec. Now, if you can, give a little extra push into your hands and feel as though someone has a string in your middle back and they're pulling that middle back up a little bit more. And then just see if you can find a little random movement there. Maybe that rib cage is going to move a little bit side to side, right there. And then we're going to give those wrists a little bit of reprieve. Take an inhale, bring that back to a neutral spine. And with your exhale, sit back into child's pose for a sec. Go ahead and put those elbows down. If you want to come into a wrist circle, come into a wrist circle. We're not going to hold this very long on this first one. We're going to come back up to hands and knees. We're going to take a shoulder stretch on our hands and knees. All right, everybody. Come right back up there. And we're going to take this, doesn't matter what hand, but if I'm still mirroring you, let's say that right hand stays down, give a push into it, give a gentle pull with that left elbow, not your full range, just give a little pull, and then take that left hand under the right arm. Now you can put back of hand down, and that might be enough for you right there. For those of you that can, you can lay down on that shoulder. Maybe you put your head on your opposite hand, so you have to adjust that hand. And you can keep your hips up. You can even sit your hips back into a bit of a child's pose. And find as much softness here as you can. Yeah. Make any adjustments you need for your body. Sometimes we need to explore a little bit and find where that sweet spot is for us. You know, your neighbors might be a different direction of where you have the arm. Some of you might feel better with palm down. That can be a little much of a rotation on the shoulder sometimes. So typically it's better with palm up. Can you find some deep breaths into that back? How about that softness in the jaw? Let's take one more breath right here. And as you're ready, we're not even coming back to hands and knees just yet. We're going to go ahead and sit up, unfold that arm. And if you can't sit back on your heels, maybe you're up on your knees. What do you need there? Maybe find a little bit of movement through that rib cage. We're going to repeat that on the other side. So go ahead, come back down. So we're going to plant that left hand, and we're going to give just a micro lift of that right elbow, and then we're going to weave that hand under that left arm. Maybe you need to stay on the higher end of it, right? Maybe you can sit back a bit, let that shoulder rest down, and hips can still be high. You can sit back on your heels. You can fold that other hand in under your head. Where do you find your softness here? Where can you find softness through your breath? Where do you find the openings in your back, in your rib cage, when you take that gentle in-breath? you know to come out of any posture at any time you need to come out of it. We're going to stay for one more breath. And then we always want to think about engaging the belly when we come into movement. So engage that belly, come on up. And maybe you want to come forward and find a little bit more random movement through your rib cage. Maybe you're done with hands and knees. We are coming down to our back. So before you get down there, make sure you've got your props, everybody. You've got your yoga strap, you've got your cushions, you've got a blanket if you want to cover yourself for Shavasana when we get there, and you have that extra towel or something like that. I'm going to talk us through that when we get to Shavasana, for those of you that want to use it. So, and if you haven't had socks on, maybe it's a good time to give those feet a little warmth. I'm giving my feet a little warmth. And if you want to have a cushion for the back of your head, you can do that. Shouldn't be a big one. But maybe you have a smaller, flatter cushion that you're going to put behind your head right now. And we are going to pull one knee at a time into the body. So go ahead, doesn't matter what knee, just pull it on in there, that other foot, rest down. And if you feel a little impaction in your hip, if you're keeping that knee right in front of your chest, maybe open it out to the side an inch or two and see if you get a little more range there. Yeah. And then come on down and take that other side. Where does that flexion? That's a pretty deep flexion, hip flexion. Where's that good for you? In fact, on this next side, we are going to open that out. So go ahead and pull it up. Keep that other knee where it is and just open that first side. And then bring it back and put it down. And second side, bring it up there. Give it a gentle opening. Come on back. Put it down. Take a check-in with your neck right here. Is it long? The back of your neck. Pull that first side up. This time as we open it, we're going to open that other knee as well. So that bottom foot rolls to the outer edge. Top knee folds open, and let your elbow rest on the floor. Give that leg some support with that hand. Let the elbow rest down. That's giving your shoulders support. Take a couple of breaths right here, everybody. Now we're going to come back up through center, and before we switch sides, take that lifted leg and cross it over the other leg. Now we've come into an internal rotation like we did standing up. Now from here, open your arms, take an inhale. You can let them rest on the floor. And with your exhale, wrap them around your chest. And just notice which elbow is closer to your face. When we do the other side, we'll switch it up. Recheck the back of your neck. Maybe you want to take a gentle head turn side to side. Keep that very soft. And then you'll let it come to a still point. Let's come into some deep belly breaths now. That abdominal wall can soften more here because we don't need the support to keep us upright. We'll re-engage when we come back into some movement. All right, everybody, let's take an inhale, open those arms. Again, remember which arm you had close to your head. Now uncross your legs. And we're going to pull that other knee in. Pull that other knee in. And let's open both legs, everybody. Foot that's on the floor rolls to the outside. Top knee opens, and we let that elbow rest on the floor. And let's ease up on that. And let's cross that leg over the other leg. Now I'm actually, I should have said this on the first side. I'm crossing all the way over. If you just did ankle on the first one, that's fine. Go ahead and repeat that on the second one. Now let's inhale, open those arms. And with the exhale, cross and let that opposite arm rest closer to the body, closer to the head this time. Recheck the back of your neck. Maybe you need to do a little head turn side to side. And eventually you come into that gentle pause. What do you notice about the space between your shoulder blades? What do you notice about your lower back, your upper hips? All right, everybody, let's open those arms with an inhale. Uncross those legs. Keep your arms open. And just take a couple of breaths right here. Maybe pick your pelvis up. Give a little readjustment and let it set right back down. Deep belly breaths. Now, take that yoga strap. We're going to take it around one leg, doesn't matter which leg, around that foot. And then the opposite hand is going to take a hold of that strap. Take your thumb of the same leg And give a gentle push into the crease of your hip, and that sort of gives you a rotation that lines your pelvis up. Yeah. Then we can take that strap back in the same hand as leg, and you can let the other hand rest on its thigh, elbow on the floor. Soften that shoulder. Now let's inhale, give a gentle knee bend. Exhale, take an extension. And we're going to do one more like that. Inhale, gentle knee bend. Exhale, extension. Now find very small rotations in that hip. And if you can let your elbow of that arm that has your strap, let it rest on the floor. Very gentle, small rotations, very slow. And then reverse that rotation. Just notice what you do. Notice if you have more sensation in one arc of that rotation than in another. And where is the sensation? Obviously, when the leg comes closer to the chest, you're going to feel it more behind your leg. But where do you feel it in your hip? Let that settle in back over the body. Maybe you're going to give a little extra stretch. In fact, let's all give one more knee bend. Give an extension. Take a breath. We're not going to hold that very long. And then go ahead, soften that in. Release that strap. Put that foot down and come right into that second side. Take that strap in the opposite hand, thumb of same hand, gentle push into the crease of the hip. Notice what you do about that. It's very subtle, very subtle. Then you can put that strap in the same hand. Other hand rests on its thigh, elbow to the floor. Take a couple knee bends. Inhale, come in. Exhale, extend. Do that again. And once you come into that extension, find your gentle circling. You can let that elbow rest on the floor if you'd like. What do you notice? Leg, hip. Reverse that circle. Let's center that foot back in line with the body, that leg. And then let's take another knee bend. Take an inhale. Exhale, extend. Hold, stretch for a couple of breaths. Recheck that neck. And let's let that go. And go ahead, put those feet a little wider than hips. Open your arms. Give a knee swivel right here. Next time you swivel to one side, let's stay. Now you can keep the legs right where they are. You know to have a cushion under that bottom knee if you need to. Those of you that want to go a little deeper, you can bring that inside knee up toward that opposite shoulder. Try and keep the shoulder of your open arm on the floor. Maybe you look toward that extended arm. And whatever version you're in, let's engage the belly enough that we can gently bring that foot back to the floor if you lifted your knee more. Come back through center. Maybe you need to pick your hips up, readjust before you drop to the other side. And let's drop to the other side, and maybe you stay right there. Maybe you're going to bring that knee up toward the opposite shoulder. Maybe you're going to look away toward that extended arm. We're going to ease up on that. If you've lifted that knee higher, put that foot down. Let's all bring those knees back up and maybe give another knee into the chest. Put that down. Other side. Come on in there. And put that down. Now, we're going to talk about this extra prop we have today. So I'm going to bring myself up for a sec, and you might need to as well to get it set up, and it's totally an option. What it is, it's an option for back of the neck support, and then a cradle for the head, and a shade for the eyes, not covering the nose. So if you had a cushion under your head, you can keep it there if it's a thin one. If it was a thick cushion, you might want to remove it. But let me show you what we're going to do with this extra prop here. So maybe have it folded in half, right? And then one edge of it, you're going to roll up a little bit. And that's what's going to go underneath your neck. So I'm going to put that over my cushion. And then I'm going to lay down and position myself. And have your other blanket within reach, because we're coming into Shavasana, and if you're chilly, have your blankie. So your roll is going to be dependent on what feels supportive for you. And if it just feels awful, don't use it, right? Once you get that roll set up, you're going to take the sides of your towel, blanket, whatever you have, and sort of nestle them in under your head a little bit. That's going to give you some cushion side to side. And then if you want a shade for your eyes, if you have a little left at the top, you're going to bring it in and give those eyes a bit of a shade. I didn't leave a whole lot left at the top, but you may need to adjust a little bit. But again, keep space for your nostrils. And there, you're cushioned, you're supported, you're shaded, and then you can come into Shavasana, whatever version of Shavasana you want. Maybe you're going to keep those knees bent with feet on floor and let your knees gently rest toward one another or on a cushion that you have between your knees. Maybe you're ready to let your legs extend. Find a shavasana that works for you. And where is it comfortable for you to put your arms, right? Maybe hands are on belly. Some folks like to have one hand on belly, one hand on chest. Maybe those arms are rested on the floor. When you find a position that you're comfortable in, maybe you're not using props at all. But when you get there, come into your breath. Maybe in your mind's eye, you see the oxygen molecule entering the bloodstream, traveling through the body, aiding in various metabolic processes. All right, friends, as you're ready, start to bring a little movement into the body. Maybe that movement grows into a bit of a reach and a stretch. Maybe that movement grows into a roll onto one side and a breath. And then as you're ready, come on up to have a seat. Right as we got settled into Shavasana, I got a really intense throat tickle. One of those that just makes you tear up. Oh, life. All right, everybody. Find some softness through that neck. I sure thank you for being in practice today. Namaste, everybody.